Okay, so I'm back and we have made some progress, just a little bit. Has to go a little time, guys. Don't get ahead of yourselves. Don't get ahead of me, okay? I can only go, that's right. So anyways, a little bit of progress on the Stroker 55. So what I have here, I got some parts from Mr. Corey Corp. And these parts are for, well, I mean, it's another 55 crank, just in case, because I don't know if I said this in the video or not, but I'm not naive enough to think that I'm going to get this perfect the first go around. So, especially if I'm cutting and welding and stuff. Just cutting, I'll probably get that first time go around. But cutting and welding, it's a little different. So what we have is, this is the case half for the 55 with a 254 XP crank and flywheel. All right, so I've been doing all kinds of measurements. I got my, I can't remember what they're called anymore. Oh, it's right on the tip of my tongue. It doesn't say it. Maybe the box says it. Where's the box? Micrometer! Yay, micrometer. I got my set of micrometers and I was using them to get measurements, see what's similar with the 254 crank and the 55 crank, what's different, stuff like that. And it looks like, please, if you've done this before, let me know if I'm right, okay? It looks like I'm not going to have to machine the flywheel side of the crankshaft, like the shaft, the shaft that the flywheel rides on and the main bearings and everything. It looks like I'm not going to have to machine that at all. It's going to match right up. I will have to, the journals on both sides, the flywheel and the clutch side, I will have to take in a little bit, skinny it up, right? But aside from that, I don't think I'm going to need to do anything to the flywheel side of this 254 crankshaft. If I'm right, please, for the love of God, let me know I'm right, because, yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm just doing the best I can. So, I will have to trench out the, I don't know what else to call it besides trench out the cases, but, you know, machine the cases, because the, I got to take this coil off of there. The rod, the bottom end of the rod is actually digging into the crankcase. So I could grind a little bit on that rod, and maybe I will. I'm not saying that I won't. But even if I got the rod small enough, there's such minimal clearance between the journals and the crankcase that I think that I would probably have to take some out of the crankcase regardless. So, yeah. So I'll definitely have to get on that, but that's easy. That can, honestly, that can be done with, you know, just a rotary tool, because it's not very, it's not precise down there. Had to use the 254 flywheel, okay? The 254 flywheel is just set up completely different than the 55 flywheel. The 55 is really shallow, right? It goes down in, and so that means that this shaft can be much shorter, whereas the flywheel for the 254, did I get my numbers wrong? The 55, that's what I was going for. The 254, the flywheel is raised on the inside, the center. So that means the shaft has to be much longer. So let's look at these journals. The journals, contacting the case is not an issue, but they do get really close. What does happen is that rod hits on the case. So we'll have to clearance that a little bit. And you know what? I mean, Get that gasket out of the way so I can see. You know what? Honestly, I don't know. Might have to, yeah, the journals are pretty damn close. Pretty damn close. Might not be a big deal though. Again, if you know, maybe I'll be able to just grind a little bit on that rod to make it, you know, smaller. Make the outside diameter of that rod smaller. Maybe I can get away with that. If you have done this before and you know, please let me know. You might say, oh no, just take a little bit off of that rod. I don't know. Seems to me like it'd be a lot safer bet to actually bore out the cases just a little bit. So, but here we are, we're in the midst. We are learning it. Oh, Doc, you sent this into the channel a long time ago, bro. And I don't know if I've ever used it on the channel, but I've used it a lot. Thank you. That has come in handy, bruv. All right, so I'll have to machine the sides of the journals to make them skinnier. What we have right here, and I'm embarrassed to say I don't 100% know how to read these. Hell, I don't 100% know how to read these. I don't. I'm just guessing. But what I'm getting with this right here, yeah, that's the measurement. I think it's 1.2 inches. That's what I think it is. This is a 1 to 2 inch micrometer. And I'm up. So it would be like 1.2. Shit, I don't know. I don't know. It's 1.2 something inches, and whereas this one is 1.5 shit, what is this one? Oh, that's not big enough. This. It's so sad. I don't know. I have no clue how to read this. Right there, we should be. That is 1 inch right there. That is 1 inch. And then we twist it out. We come all the way back around to 0. We keep going. Again, all the way back around to 0. So that's 2 times I've come back around to 0. And there it is. So I'm back around to 0. I go in. So it's almost a perfect back around to 0. Let me show you. That's where I'm at. So, whatever that measurement is. And this one over here, the 254, is wider. I need to watch a couple videos on how to actually read these things. It's embarrassing. But shit, I don't know. I mean, but for all the times that I've made fun of people for not knowing how to read one of these, well, now I feel stupid. Anyways, okay, all right. So the important thing is skinnying that up will be simple. That's easy, all right? And the flywheel side, I don't think I need to do anything to at all, right? So again, if you know, please tell me. The clutch side, what it appears that I'm gonna have to do, all right? Now, the 55 and the 254 use the same outside diameter, I think. Worm gear. I think the worm gear is exactly the same outside diameter, but on the 254, the inside diameter is smaller. So what I have to do is I have to machine this shaft deeper so that this worm gear will sit where the 55 worm gear naturally sits on its crank. That way it lines up with the oiler. No big deal. That should be easy as well. We're just turning that crankshaft in a little bit further this way, just a little bit, so that this can go further on and sit where it needs to sit to properly mesh with the oiler. Now, I'm smart enough to understand that I better get this perfect. Otherwise, it'll eat the plastic gear on the oiler constantly. So this right here needs to mesh perfectly. I need to get that freaking perfect. All right, so there's that. And then both cranks have the same size surface area that your bearing rides on for your clutch. And they also both have the same pitch of threads and everything. So the complete clutch assembly from a 55 should fit on a 254, a 257, 262, all of those. It should fit, and then vice versa. But with the 254 crank, it sits further out. So what I've got to do is I've got to machine this lip back and keep threading this further so that I can get the clutch to sit where the clutch needs to sit to line up with everything that the 54 or the 55 has. So, thin it, easy, that's the easiest thing. Bore out the cases, again, that's also easy, that's not a problem at all. But then what is a problem and where I gotta be really specific is to get this side to match up with this side, and then Do I need to? Honestly, that's pretty damn close. I may not have to do a damn thing other than get this oiler to sit in the right spot. The rest might be completely fine. I know this is a hokey way of measuring it, but that's what I got right here, right now. It's quick, fast, in a hurry. That's the 55 crank. This is the 254 crank. Oh, they're almost identical, but they're not. They're not. So yes, I will have to take all of this and move it back. Well, I can't do a good measurement because I first have to thin these. I have to make those thinner. But let's just do a quick down and dirty measurement just to give an idea. So that's about 90 thousandths of an inch. Yeah. That's about 90 thousandths of an inch longer than the 55. And then it'll be even more because I'll take this wall right here and move it back. But totally doable. And so what I've kind of loosely come to grips with. Oh, by the way, this is sumac tea. Honestly, it's just like getting a brisk tea at a gas station, you know? You should try it. It makes sumac tea. It's just nifty to do stuff like that. So anyways, what I've kind of decided to do, so the whole point of doing all this is basically to learn on something cheap. And still, like, good. A 55 Rancher is a good saw. It just isn't fast, you know, and all we're doing is making it fast. But it's a totally pro construction, you know. You've got a nice magnesium case set up. And anyways, it's not a clamshell. It's a good saw that's worth playing around with. And so, just as an attempt to break myself in slowly and learn this stuff properly, I'm going to go the easy route at first. And this right here, the 254 crank stuffed in a 55 with a 45 millimeter cylinder is only going to give me like 54.2 cc's or something like that. You know, not enough to call it a true 55. I think, right? That's why the 254 was called a 54, not a 55. 254, all right? It didn't quite get high enough to call it a 55. So what I'll do then is I'll go ahead and I'll use this. I'll do this. I'll build this bottom end to accept a 254 crank. And then I'll transfer everything that's on my personal user, Husky 55, I'll transfer everything onto this bottom end. And that has a 46 millimeter closed port cylinder by highway. And we'll see what we got. You know, we'll see how it runs. And I'll probably just leave it that way. So 46 millimeter piston and 34 millimeter stroke is the exact same dimensions of a 357 XP. And so we know that the possibilities are there, but I mean, it ain't gonna run like that. Not unless I do something, I mean, whatever, you get it. So that one right there, I'll just keep as my user 55. I'll actually build it more for just torque, you know, just, you know, I don't care if it screams or anything and has high RPMs. I'll just run it to build it to be a good work saw. And that'll be my 55 Rancher that I run with a 254 XP crank. And then if I like it and want to keep going with this project, then I'll start tackling the other stuff, like possibly making an offset pin for this, or possibly removing, cutting, and welding the pin back in to give it the stroke that I want. But more in-depth projects. This one has got to be the easiest, safest option, and so I'll do it first. And I'm really looking forward to it. But as of right now, this video needs to end because I have to start getting everything set up. I am leaving in the morning for Indiana because I am going to Hoosier Hysteria, Firewood Hysteria, whatever it's called. I think it's in Greentown, Indiana. And I want to go chill and hang out and mess around with the firewood guys. They seem to be, I gotta say, a lot less competitive. They also seem to be just a lot less bitchy than the chainsaw crowd. The chainsaw crowd, you know, I mean, I've got some good friends. You know, I really do. I've got some good friends, you know, like all the Ohio crew, I love them. You know, I just love them to death. But, you know, I've met some good friends at the different events and everything. And so, you know that I like y'all. It's just there's a lot of people that are just like, they're not worth me wasting my time on. And I am very interested in the firewood scene. It's cool. I get mesmerized watching those splitters split wood. I like it. I truly like it. So anyways, I'm going to go hang out with them. Y'all have fun at Morgan's Race, whatever it's called. Anyways, I wish everybody the best, and maybe I'll see you there in Indiana this weekend. Later.